WHU. The Braxton family drama just went from reality TV mess to full-blown federal. In a jaw-dropping twist that nobody saw coming, Towanda Braxton has been arrested in connection with an ongoing FBI investigation, and the gag is, whispers say Tamar might have been the one who exposed her. Yes, baby. The same Tamar who just got done crying on national TV about betrayal is now being accused of playing a key role in bringing her own sister down. Sources close to the case say the feds have been digging into suspicious financial activity tied to a shell company used by multiple reality stars, and guess whose name was on several flagged documents? Towanda. But the plot thickens because those documents didn't just magically appear, they were allegedly sent to investigators by an anonymous tipster, and all signs are pointing directly at Tamar's camp. Now, the sisters are more estranged than ever. Evelyn is panicking. Tony is silent. And Trina reportedly told producers she's done for good. Is Tamar seeking revenge? Or did she just finally say, enough is enough? Either way, what's happening behind the scenes will blow your mind. Everything came crashing down at 6:42 a.m. That's when federal agents rolled up to Towanda Braxton's Atlanta condo, sealed warrant in hand, and arrested her in front of stunned neighbors, crew members, and according to one insider, her shocked teenage son. The footage didn't take blurry, filmed from across the street, but unmistakable. Towanda in handcuffs, head down, no wig, no lashes, no grace, just humiliation. The headline hit blogs within an hour. Towanda Braxton arrested in FBI fraud case linked to entertainment shell companies. What those headlines didn't reveal, at least not yet, was that this arrest wasn't random, it was orchestrated, because sources close to the investigation say the FBI received an anonymous digital file weeks ago. The contents? Internal emails, wire transfers, and falsified consulting invoices, all tied to a fraudulent LLC used to funnel money through multiple reality TV personalities. And right there on the paperwork, Towanda's digital signature. But here's where it gets twisted. That same source claims the file didn't just magically fall into the FBI's hands, it was submitted directly to a federal agent from a private IP address traced back to Georgia. And shortly after the feds got that tip, they requested metadata, which, according to leaked information, led them right to a name adjacent to the Braxton circle. Someone in Tamar's management team. Yes, you heard that right. Tamar, her team. The sister who had just kicked Towanda off the Braxton family show for allegedly stealing $50K. The same Tamar who had gone completely silent after that scandal, deleting posts, turning down interviews, and refusing to engage with Towanda in any way. What if her silence wasn't peace, but planning? Insiders say Tamar's camp was already suspicious about Towanda's side hustles, especially after an accountant working on the Braxton brand audit flagged several strange payments. One of them, a $22,000 consulting deposit sent from a California-based streaming startup to an LLC registered under Towanda's name, but with a business address that matched the Braxton family's old office. The company didn't exist, the address was no longer valid, and the payment was allegedly for a project that never happened. And that was just one transaction. The FBI had questions and they started asking fast. Toni Braxton was reportedly contacted first, given her role as executive producer and primary signer on several recent family contracts, but she was quick to point out that Towanda operated independently when it came to side deals, and any attempt to link her to fraudulent activity would be laughable. Tamar, on the other hand, was reportedly never contacted directly, at least not yet. And that's what has the internet spinning. Because now the question isn't, did Towanda do it? It's, did Tamar set her up? Some fans say yes. That this was Tamar's final revenge, a strategic, silent power play to remove the one sister who had been leaking behind-the-scenes family business for years. Others argue Tamar simply exposed a crime and did what any whistleblower should do. But no matter how you spin it, one sister is in cuffs and another may have pulled the trigger. And just like that, the Braxton family chaos went from cameras and confessionals to courtroom subpoenas and federal agents. Tony Braxton was the first to go silent, and when Tony goes quiet, you know something serious just dropped. According to multiple sources close to the family, she was blindsided by the arrest, just like everyone else. But she wasn't shocked. Not really. In fact, Tony had allegedly warned Towanda months ago to stop playing in gray areas when it came to her business dealings. But Towanda, as always, brushed it off with that smug "I got it handled" attitude that masked deeper desperation. Desperation is what this whole thing reeks of now. The FBI indictment sealed until arrest reportedly contains a list of LLCs, fake invoice chains, and cross-state wire transfers. It isn't just tax fraud, it's conspiracy, a federal-level case. And Towanda isn't the only name on those documents. But she's the most famous, and that's why the spotlight is burning so bright. The moment that arrest footage hit the internet, the Braxton fandom fractured. Some said Towanda was a victim, dragged into shady dealings she didn't fully understand. Others blamed Tamar completely, claiming she weaponized the system to finish what she started after the $50K fallout. "She didn't just snitch," one viral post read. "She set the table, served the tea, and handed the feds the receipt." But behind the scenes, the mood wasn't celebration, it was chaos. Trina Braxton broke down during filming, refusing to appear in confessionals for 3 days straight. She reportedly told a producer, "We're supposed to be sisters, what the hell are we now?" Meanwhile, Evelyn Braxton, the matriarch who had weathered scandals before, was stuck in the middle. Her daughters were now at war on a level she couldn't pray her way out of. And the most haunting part? This all could have been avoided. A source inside the Braxton production team leaked a bombshell email from 6 months prior. In it, a junior producer warned Tony and Tamar that Towanda's business dealings were not clean, and that she was using her status as a Braxton to land deals that were likely illegal. The email was allegedly ignored, but someone didn't forget. That's when the anonymous tip came in. The FBI got everything they needed because someone close to the family handed it over. And though Tamar has not publicly addressed the arrest, whispers are growing louder that it was her business manager who made the call. Not out of revenge, they claim, but to protect Tamar's name before it got dragged into the mud. Because remember, if your name is linked to a fraudulent LLC, even if you didn't touch the money, your brand is at risk. Your endorsements? Gone. Your tours? Cancelled. Your reputation? Finished. Tamar's camp may have just pulled off a preemptive strike. And it might have worked. Towanda, meanwhile, is holding firm. Her legal team released a short statement denying all charges and promising to clear her name in court. But insiders say she's panicking behind closed doors. The documents are too detailed, the transactions too deliberate. And if more names get named, she won't be the only Braxton facing charges. Towanda sat in that holding cell for nearly 11 hours before her lawyer could even get to her. No glam squad, no cameras, just cold walls, a steel bench, and the weight of decades of family secrets crashing down on her shoulders. According to sources at the Fulton County holding facility, Towanda didn't cry, but she looked dazed, numb, and completely unrecognizable from the polished reality star fans knew. One guard allegedly whispered, "She looked like she'd seen a ghost." Maybe she had, because back in her mind, she had to be wondering if that ghost was Tamar. The whispers only grew louder. Blogs began publishing side-by-side timelines comparing the day Tamar's assistant met with financial auditors to the day the FBI claimed they received the anonymous file. It was too close to be coincidence, too neat, too surgical. Tamar may not have pulled the trigger, but she had handed someone the bullets, and the feds didn't miss. Towanda's legal team went on the offense fast. They filed a motion to suppress the documents submitted by the anonymous tipster, calling them illegally obtained and possibly fabricated. But the FBI was ready. They had digital trails, email headers, metadata, and internal communications confirming Towanda's personal involvement in the fraudulent LLC. The evidence? Staggering. Fake invoices billed to non-existent talent agencies, wire transfers between multiple states, unreported income, And then the one that blew everything wide open. A transaction that directly funneled money from a children's charity gala appearance hosted by the Braxtons in 2022 into a fake PR firm that Towanda allegedly created. The amount? Just under $6,500. That single number sent shockwaves. Fans were outraged. News outlets ran the headline, "Braxton's sister tied to charity scheme." Suddenly, this wasn't just a fraud case. It was a moral collapse. And Tamar? She still hadn't said a word. Not a post. Not a tweet. Not even a shady emoji. The silence was strategy. And it was loud. Meanwhile, Trina was cracking. She took to IG Live for the first time in months, sitting in her kitchen with no makeup, wearing a hoodie, and barely keeping it together. "I love my sister. I love all of them. But I can't lie for nobody, not even blood." She didn't name Towanda, but she didn't have to. The pain in her voice was real and fans felt it. Evelyn was still holding her position. Word on the street is she reached out privately to both daughters, begging for unity, not war. But even she couldn't deny the mountain of receipts piling up against Towanda. And what made it worse? Every time the story escalated, a new connection to Tamar's camp appeared. Her former business manager, her legal rep, even a junior accountant from her old show, all were tied to evidence submitted in the case. The biggest twist came when the indictment was updated. A sealed section revealed that the FBI believed Towanda had not acted alone, that she may have had unwitting enablers within her family, or people who knowingly looked away while she conducted fraudulent activity under their shared brand. The fans went wild. Who were the enablers? Was Tony involved? Was Trina? Even Evelyn? Or was it a red herring meant to send the Braxtons into deeper chaos? All eyes turned to Tamar again. Tamar Braxton wasn't hiding, she was planning. And when she finally emerged, it wasn't with a tweet, a live, or a meltdown. It was a sit-down. A full-length, unfiltered interview with the Table Talk podcast, known for its deep dives into celebrity scandals. But this time, the guest wasn't just any celebrity. It was Tamar, the sister everyone was pointing fingers at. She sat there in a crimson blazer, no tears, no performance, just fire in her voice. When asked directly, "Did you submit the documents that led to Towanda's arrest?" Tamar didn't flinch. "What I did was protect myself and my brand. If that meant telling the truth to the right people, then yeah, I did what had to be done." Boom! There it was. No denial, no backpedaling. Just pure, raw confirmation that Tamar was indeed the source, or at least the pipeline, that brought Towanda into the FBI's crosshairs. The internet exploded. Tamar said what she said trended for hours. Memes flew. Some praised her for being fearless, others dragged her for being a traitor. But Tamar? She didn't care. She made it clear that she had reached her limit. "I was silent when she took from me. I was silent when she twisted the truth. But when I saw she was using our name, our legacy to do dirt, I said, no more." Towanda's reaction was swift. A statement from her legal team blasted the interview as self-serving and prejudicial to an ongoing federal case. But Towanda herself went even further, dropping a bombshell Instagram post just hours later. It was a photo of her and Tamar in 2015, smiling on set, arms locked. The caption? "This industry teaches you to smile with snakes. I just didn't know mine would be blood." The war was now public, unfiltered, and irreparable. Even Tony was forced to break her silence. She posted a cryptic Instagram story. At some point, silence becomes betrayal. That goes both ways. No one knew exactly who she meant, but the implication was clear. Tony was over it. All of it. The show, the lawyers, the backstabbing. She had fought hard to keep the Braxton brand alive. Now she was watching it rot from the inside out. Ashley Braxton entered the conversation next, and her voice hit hardest. In a quietly released statement on her private page, she wrote, "Family is supposed to protect each other. not destroy each other in court filings and podcast clips. I'm embarrassed. I'm sad. And I don't want to be part of this circus anymore. She removed her last name from her bio the next day. Fans began turning on everyone. Evelyn for not stepping in, Trina for crying instead of acting, Tony for remaining neutral too long. But no one received more backlash than Towanda, who was now the face of a federal scandal. But Towanda wasn't finished yet. Just before Part 4 ends, she drops one last twist, a subpoena of her own. Leaked by an insider, the documents reveal Towanda plans to subpoena Tamar's former accountant as a key witness, claiming she too knew of similar questionable practices within Tamar's financial operations. Whether this was a real threat or just a desperate ploy didn't matter. The war had gone nuclear. Now the FBI was investigating everyone. It wasn't just about money anymore, it was about destruction. With Towanda threatening to subpoena Tamar's former accountant, the scandal turned from a one-sided collapse into a two-way war of mutually assured devastation. This wasn't just a fight between sisters. This was a strategic takedown campaign fueled by secrets, pride, and years of unresolved trauma under the surface of glam squads and red carpets. Legal analysts jumped on the story, dissecting every move. They confirmed that Towanda's legal team had every right to pursue subpoenas, especially if she could prove Tamar's team held documents relevant to her defense. But here's where things got uglier. Towanda wasn't just trying to defend herself, she was trying to take Tamar down with her. Leaked messages between Towanda and a known gossip blogger revealed her true strategy. In one now-deleted thread, she wrote, "If I go down, I'm not going alone. She got dirty books too. Trust me." Those messages, shared anonymously, caused a frenzy. Fans were horrified. Was Towanda trying to expose Tamar's own financial irregularities as a form of retaliation? Or was it just a last-ditch attempt to force her sister's hand? Tamar's legal team responded immediately. Within 48 hours, they filed a motion to block the subpoena, citing protection of proprietary business records and client confidentiality. At the same time, Tamar posted a cryptic message on X, formerly Twitter. "Imagine weaponizing your own destruction to stay relevant. Sad." Meanwhile, the Braxton family was being pulled apart in real time. Trina went offline entirely. Tony canceled 2 of her live appearances, citing health issues, though insiders said the real reason was emotional exhaustion. Even Evelyn began distancing herself from public events. She was reportedly approached by The View for a guest appearance to discuss family betrayal, but declined, saying, "This is no longer TV, this is tragedy." And through it all, Towanda remained under house arrest, no ankle monitor yet but strict travel restrictions and ongoing federal oversight. She was no longer the confident, camera-ready personality. Now, she was a suspect. A cautionary tale. A woman whose choices and pride had left her isolated from the very people she once called family. Then came the final leak. A shocking, unpublished scene from the Braxton reboot, one that never made it to air, surfaced on Reddit. In the clip, filmed just weeks before the FBI raid, Towanda is caught on a hot mic talking to a producer. She complains about feeling broke, bitter, and boxed out, and casually mentions moving some of Tamar's deals into her own stream to teach her a lesson. The quote was damning, the audio even worse, and it all but confirmed what Tamar's team had implied for months. Towanda was playing a dirty game long before the feds showed up. The fallout was immediate. The network pulled any remaining reruns of Towanda-heavy episodes. Sponsors distanced themselves. A major charity that had worked with the Braxtons issued a statement declaring they would no longer work with any individuals under federal scrutiny. The damage was irreversible. And in the court of public opinion, Towanda had already been convicted. But despite it all, the arrests, the leaks, the legal fire, Tamar still hadn't shown anger, not fully. Because beneath the stoicism, fans sensed something deeper, something colder. Tamar wasn't angry anymore. She was done. The final collapse didn't come with sirens or subpoenas, it came with silence. As the FBI investigation deepened and court dates loomed, The Braxton family simply stopped speaking. Publicly. Privately. Completely. It was as if the very name Braxton had become a liability, a brand so tangled in scandal, loyalty, and betrayal that even the sisters didn't know what it stood for anymore. Towanda's court appearance was brief, but brutal. Wearing a gray pantsuit and little makeup, she stood quietly as the charges were read out loud. Wire fraud, misrepresentation of earnings, and criminal conspiracy. Her attorney pleaded not guilty on her behalf, but even he looked shaken. Outside the courthouse, paparazzi screamed questions. She said nothing, not a glance, not a gesture. She disappeared into a black SUV like a ghost of her former self. Back at home, Tamar was rebuilding her image piece by piece. Her team announced a new podcast series titled Triggered, Healing Out Loud, with the first episode focusing on when family becomes your first betrayal, the timing, intentional, the shade, immaculate. Tamar never said Towanda's name, but she didn't need to. Everyone knew who inspired the episode. And yet, even as Tamar rose from the ashes of family scandal, fans began questioning whether the price of her piece was too high. Had she gone too far? Could she have handled this privately? Should she have given her sister another chance before handing everything over to federal agents? But Tamar wasn't apologizing. Not then, not ever. If you protect someone while they're hurting you, you're not loyal, you're complicit. Toni Braxton, ever the silent glue of the family, made one final attempt at unity. She released a soft piano video. No words, no caption, just her playing a somber melody from her first album. It was raw, nostalgic, and heartbreakingly appropriate. A quiet tribute to a family that had once been strong, now fractured beyond repair. Evelyn Braxton's only statement came through a church sermon livestream, where she simply said, "Even Jesus had to leave some folks behind." As the months passed, the dust settled but the scars remained. Towanda's trial was scheduled for early next year, with potential prison time on the table. Tamar's projects flourished, but she kept her circle tight and her boundaries tighter. Trina quietly retired from the spotlight. Toni focused on her health. And the Braxton brand? It faded from the glossy covers, and daytime talk slots replaced with caution, distance, and whispers of what once was. This was more than a scandal, it was a family tragedy. From sisterhood to subpoenas, the Braxton name has been dragged through the mud, not by outsiders, but by its own bloodline. Towanda's arrest shocked the world, but Tamar's calculated silence? That shook it. When fame, money, and pain collide, there are no clean endings, just burned bridges and lessons that hurt too much to teach. What do you think? Did Tamar go too far? Was Towanda set up or simply caught? Is there any hope for healing in this broken dynasty? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you were glued to every twist, and don't forget to subscribe, because with this family, another chapter is always just one breakdown away. Number Towanda Braxton. Number Tamar Braxton. Number Braxton family values. Number FBI investigation. Number reality TV scandal. Number Braxton arrest. Number Tamar speaks. Number Towanda trial. Number sister betrayal. Number healing out loud. Number clickbait drama.